I was talking to a black child recently about how this government wants us to be stupid. How there's a healthy number of people who are stupid. I got an amount in there myself, but just the importance of dedicating yourself to self mastery and self improvement, and how literature and education is such a powerful tool for that. And I'm talking to this child who's a teenager, and I'm like, never forget, it used to be punishable by death for us to know how to read. And they were like, what? And I was like, and I'm sitting thinking, and I'm like, I know I've told you this before. I know I've told you this before, but I also don't expect children to remember everything I tell them. I know it's going to have to be over and over and over again, these conversations and these lessons. And so I was talking about, I'm like, yeah, we were enslaved. And for the people who oppressed us, captured, kidnapped us, tortured us, kept us in that position, it behooved them for us to not have the ability to read, for us to not have the ability to have that as an avenue for freedom. And the fact that we said, fuck all that shit, we're learning anyway. What is it that you don't want me to know? Right. Run me them books. And I was talking to this child, and I was like, and the fact, not only having to teach yourself how to read, but also having to hide it. I said, look at that sign right now. We were driving by. I said, look at that sign right now and don't read it. They said, it's impossible. I can't. I said, look at that sign right there and don't read it. They said, it's impossible. I can't not. Like, it's so hard to not. If you see it, you read it. Exactly. The ingenuity, the wits, the steadfastness it took to be able to conceal that you had a skill, that you had something that can get you and your people free. But you had to hide it so that they don't know. There's two... Won't get into that. It'll be a long video. It was very emotional bringing this conversation up to this child. I'm like, we snuck each other pages. We taught each other how to read. We shared this knowledge, little tidbits, little whispers. We had books and trees, literally, for each other to find. And it's like, it was emotional talking to this child about it because, like, yes, it's historical. And also it's very much here, everywhere, right now, today, influencing everything that's going on. And having the awareness of how people resisted, how they fought back, how hard won that was. You know what type of hope you have to teach yourself a language that nobody you know speaking that language wants you to know or wants you to be able to read. Nobody who can read that language wants you to be able to read it. Barely wants you to be able to speak. Only understand it enough to do what the fuck I said and die by my hand when I feel like it. And we said, nah, fuck that, syllable by syllable. Passing it along. It's like, and obviously that's just one way that we resisted and kept going. Every day I wake up black is a blessing. Every day. And the wisdom and the heart and the steadfastness that led us here, that is right here within us. And I know I know some people who can feel this shit. I'm not fucking lying to you. It's like that same steadfastness is the same steadfastness for us to be navigating this current reality in the United States And to see people of more privileged identities, to see people of the oppressor class looking around, realizing they're not as safe as they thought, and being like, oh, geez, what about me next? What about me next? What about Francesca Ramsey just made a video. She stitched somebody. It was a white person talking about all of my friends are losing faith in their husbands. Their husbands aren't upset that this white woman activist was murdered. And it's like there are so many who have been murdered. And like that's the type of shit. We are still here. Our ancestors are right here in us. And it is us today, every day, making the choice to keep them alive and to keep the wisdom, the knowledge, the power that kept them going, to keep that going because it is fed through us and our continued awareness of how bomb we are and how worthy of protection we are, and how this isn't Black people coming to face with the fact that nobody was fucking listening to us. We was already aware they wasn't fucking listening to us. And that too is ancestral spirit and ancestral heart. The living ancestor. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the type of shit that be like, I'm like, damn. Because it's like, I'm telling this child about some stories of Black people, and I weaved in some more specific stories of more recent people in that person's life. And they're going to grow up and be like, and this is the shit we was enduring. Because the impacts of slavery, it's not like it just went away. Oh, enslavement's over. Everything's great now. Do it look like dandelion tea, mermaids, and lotus flowers up in the United States? Has it ever been that way since this country has existed under the name of the United States? The fuck are we talking about? The story of us continuing on is great, and we add to that every single day. And so for those who see us, to my people, we see each other. And at this point, I don't know what else to say, except all we gotta do is keep going, stay Black, and keep going. So